staying strong in my faith, thinking of the idea of like God helped David, knock down Goliath. God helped Joshua knock down the walls of Jericho. And God is helping me knock down these miles running barefoot. Not that this is equal to those things, but it was a beautiful space. Peace and love, beautiful people. Welcome back to another episode of The Bare Athlete. It is me, Jordan Alexander, and I'm here excited to share with y'all something I did recently. If you've been listening, you know that I've been training for this half marathon that's going to be in December. And last week, somebody dropped on me that there was a half marathon that this past week that just passed. So it was Tuesday. I was in my son's jiu-jitsu class, and they said one of a friend was like, "Hey, there's a half marathon that's coming up this Sunday. You should do it just to kind of like just see where you are." And I had already previously committed to No Shoes November, so I was like, immediately my stomach dropped because I was like, "Oh, there's a half marathon coming up," but I knew that meant that I was gonna run it. Because if I wasn't nervous, it would have meant that I wasn't going to do it. But I was extremely nervous because I knew I was going to run this half marathon barefoot. Up until this point, prior to this point, I've only ran 10 miles. The half marathon is 13.1. And of those 10 miles, I've only ran barefoot like maybe about 8 kilometers, which is like less than 8 kilometers, so like 4 miles. So I was nervous. The following day, I went out and ran a 10K barefoot, which is about 6.2 miles, and I felt good. I was like, okay, this is good, this is solid, and I just decided to just rest my feet. My feet were a little bruised, like my big toe, a little bruised after that. And then Saturday came, and I did a little shakeout. Real, very, very, very slow run, about a 12-minute pace run, for a 6K, so a little over 3 miles, and that was good. It was smooth. It was easy. I felt good, and then the next day came, and I ran 13.1 miles completely barefoot. And I felt so grateful that God allowed me to do it. And I am going to share I'm going to share my testimony about how God just worked through me and gifted me the ability to do this act a lot in this episode. And it's not going to be long, but I want to share it because it is so true. I think I could pull from so many stories in the Bible, of where God calls somebody to do something that seems so daring, so scary, so unbelievable. And when you actually put your foot forward, God helps you and pulls that next foot forward and does so much more. And I actually saw his Instagram post last night about God math and how God math it doesn't make sense in regular math. Like God math is like 1 equals 1,000 and 2 equals 10,000. 2 people end up being 10,000 people. And like, why? Because that's God math. Because when God is with you, it multiplies the number and it just changes the equation. It's like that variable number, and it's like, what is like, but you can never find out what the what the value of God is, right? Because it's just like it's a variable number, but it's such a powerful number. So I line up at this race, and I'm barefoot. I do wear toe spacers. Put on my toe spacers. I line up, and I'm next to one of the guys I've ran with once or twice here in Puerto Vallarta, and I know he's like going for a solid run, and he's probably going for like 130, sub 130, and he has his super shoes on. And I'm there at the start. I pray. The race starts, and I'm staying staying like trailing behind my friend's name is Ulysses. I'm trailing behind him, and he is moving. So I have my headphones set to kilometers, so I hear the first half kilometer, and the time is like 2 minutes, like 2 seconds or something like that, which for me, I normally run, so which is at a pace of like 4 minute pace for a 4 minute per kilometer pace. I usually run at about a 5 minute kilometer pace, which is about 8 minutes and change. And so I'm like, this is not, this is way too fast. But the beauty of the whole thing, as I was nervous and so nervous, the race starts, we go, and I knew about the route, but when we actually start running, I realized we're running on a road, but in the median of like the major road, there's these just big, huge space of grass and trees, and like one tree per every couple meters. I'm able to, and the first patch of grass is like freshly cut. It has that morning dew on it, like literally my favorite. And I go and I hop in the median and I'm running and I'm like, oh, this is great. So I'm still watching where I'm stepping. It's still dark, so I'm still watching where I'm stepping. But it's like, I don't have to run on the ground for a while, because the first, we made a turn and we go down for a kilometer, come back for a kilometer. So for the first 2 kilometers, which is about a mile, I'm cozy on grass. And then we go back into the street, but every so often there's still grass available. I could hop in the grass and run and relax my feet. But the beauty of this whole thing is that every time I hopped into the grass, it felt like a Mario Kart game, and it was like one of those little slide-ins, little boosters. Because every time I hopped in the grass, I felt so comfortable. My stride opened up, and I would just naturally run faster. I didn't jump on the grass and just sprinted, but it was just like I kept my same cadence, but it just picked up faster because the ground is just, I have a better relationship with natural earth and grass, and it was so beautiful, because it was a nice like recovery space and an accelerator. And in that moment, I realized, I just thank God of like, oh, God made a way for me. Like, I was stressing and so nervous about how I was going to do this, and God already made the path for me, knowing that there was going to be grass available for me. There's going to be a safe space for me to walk and literally run and take care of myself. Like, He had my best interest at hand. He already knew I was going to be covered. He already laid out the path for me. And that was such a beautiful feeling, because it confirmed my faith. I went in there, and as I prayed, I'm just like, I know it's going to happen. And that's what I've been praying. Like, I know that I'm going to be safe here. I know all is going to be well, and I didn't have to stress or worry about it. Although I still was nervous, not going to lie. But it was for nothing. Like, when I did pray, I let it go. Once the gun went off and the race started, all nerves left, and it just felt like, okay, cool, we're running. So again, my first time, the longest I ran before this was 10K. So running past 10K, and in that I ran my second fastest 10K time. It was like 51 minutes and change. So I was really geeked about that, which I beat the 10K time that I ran earlier that week. So I was like, okay, cool, this is good. Like, fastest 10K time, and I'm still going. And then I ran my fastest 10-mile time, even when I had shoes on. So I was geeked about that. And really, I didn't stop running. Every time I've ran 10 miles, I've stopped once or twice. You can have some cookies. I was able to run the whole thing. And every time I ran 10 miles prior to this, I would walk. I'd like kind of pause and walk and kind of lightly jog. This one I didn't stop at all. I slowed down a bit and getting into this like the high 5 minute per kilometer pace, like 5:45, 5:50, but didn't stop running. Just kept going. My family showed up, my wife and my kids. They We're out right after the 10-mile mark. And the beauty of that is that every time I run 10 miles, I run back home. So like 10 miles and I'm home. Like home is the finish line. And it was just truly divine that when at the race, after I ran 10 miles, I saw my family. So it was like run 10 miles and then you get home. And they had a sign that said, God said, keep going. And there's a song, I can't remember the artist, but there's a song that says, keep going. I had that on repeat for a while. And it was like, okay. So I ran over, I gave them all a kiss, and I kept going. And I was running, and it was truly beautiful to feel that. I felt like an extra charge. Another song queued up. It was kind of a little more upbeat. The whole race, I ran to a nice mix of Christian rap and gospel and just all Christ music, and staying strong in my faith, thinking of the idea of like God helped David, knock down Goliath. God helped Joshua knock down the walls of Jericho, and God is helping me knock down these miles running barefoot. Not that this is equal to those things, but it was a beautiful space.
Can I have another snack?
No.
A different snack?
No. Grapes or cookies. You can have chips if you want. God is still working on me in my parenthood. It's a level of like, I'm working. Why you? It's okay. So yeah, not that this barefoot, this individual barefoot feat was equal to David slaying Goliath for all of Israel, or Joshua knocking down the walls of Jericho, so that way the Israelites could go back to the promised land. It's not equal, but it is showing. For me, I felt that like with God, all is possible. Like the big feat in my life in this current space and time, with God I can do it and really do it with ease. I didn't feel at some points in time my feet felt like a beautiful numbness, like I wasn't even aware of them. Like I was like, oh yeah, like I looked down and my feet are hitting the ground, but I don't really feel it. It just felt like I wasn't feeling the sensation of every single of the ground hitting. It was just going. And there's other times where the ground was different and I was like, oh my gosh, like this hurts. When does the road change back to what it was before? Because it was painful. No grass was available. I was looking like I was definitely zigzagging, hopping up and down the median the whole race because I was looking for the stable, the healthy ground, the safe ground, which is also a different thing. Because this is not my first real race, I feel that if I did wear shoes and shoes that were like extremely comfortable, I would have so much focus to go. Like I don't need a level of going left, going right. Cause Sonny, I'm working. Okay, then if Miss Linda says no, then no.
But you said
no. If Miss Linda said no, it's no. Well, whatever Miss Linda says, I'm almost done. So if I had shoes on, especially like cushioned shoes where I didn't have to worry about where I'm stepping, I could just kind of just truck on and go. It would take away so much of my thought. My thought was mostly, watch where you're stepping. God got you, carry you through this. The distance, surprisingly, I was able to do it. At mile 11 or 12, my calves started to lock up and I was like, oh, okay. Never felt this feeling because I never ran this far. I never went to these lengths, and I was like, okay, I still gotta go. It was beautiful having like drinks along the way. That's also nice, like just little splashes of water, having an electrolyte drink. Electrolyte is a drink that's sponsored the race. Having those were nice, and passing up water for a lot. Also, didn't do any gels. Something I was told that when I ran over 90 minutes or over an hour or 90 minutes, that I would need a gel to keep going, give you more energy. Maybe that's why my calves locked up on me and I needed something more to fuel my body. But it was, I kind of said like no shirt, no shoes, no gels, just God. and it was beautiful. Like, I didn't feel terrible. Like, I actually, like, towards the end of the race, in the last like 200 meters, I actually picked up and sprinted whatever I could sprint at that space and time. Sprinted to the finish, and I finished at about 1:53, which is great. My goal is to go sub 2 hours in December. So to be able to do it now in November is great. And to do it without anything, like without any super tech, without, like the most tech I had was my headphones. So without any gels, I didn't even I didn't even go on I didn't even eat a banana. I didn't eat anything that morning. I just had my electrolyte drink. I loaded up on like carbs and electrolytes the day before. Drank a lot of water. I drank some water. I drank some creatine that morning. Heart and Soil. I had some of their supplements, but no food. No like, oh, let me eat this banana. Let me have something. It was like bare and used the bathroom so much. Like there was nothing in me anyway. And I think that even gives a testament to when I did like run on a fast, like on a 3 day fast, and I was still running. So I know what it's like to run on nothing. But yeah, it was great. As I crossed the finish line, I prayed. I gave so much honor to God, even throughout the race. Like the songs were good, and I was just like, God, it's you. And as at the finish, I pointed up to God and prayed again, and just thanked Him for bringing me through. Thank you for like carrying my feet all the way through, for them not falling off, just getting cut. I did see a little splash of glass somewhere throughout the race, and I made sure I kind of like alerted and like ran the opposite side of the lane. Um, but yeah, it was great. I finished and I was walking and talking and carrying on conversations, taking pictures. There was a lot of praise from other people. Um, Especially a lot of the old timers were like just really, I couldn't hear what they were saying. My headphones were on, but they were like super proud of me running, and just Mexican too. So I think Mexican has a nice healthy barefoot culture. So I think it looked like they might have ran barefoot back in their day. There was a couple other people that were like surprised and shocked, but a lot of people were proud. I think it inspired a lot of other people too on what showing them what could be done. And I had a really beautiful conversation with a 17-year-old. His mom and dad stopped me and were talking about like why I'm running barefoot and why the beauty of it and how you should. And he had these super shoes on, and he was like he can't imagine it, and he couldn't run barefoot because the bones of his feet were really fragile and they hurt. And I was like, it's because you're not running barefoot. So I suggested to him to just run, if you could just run a kilometer, like half a kilometer, barefoot in the grass, that'll be good for him. So hopefully he takes heed to that. But yeah, I had a really, really, really good time. I'm still nervous about doing it again. But I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna do it one in December. That's gonna be fun. And I'm trying to think of the biggest lesson of it all was trusting God. Trusting God and knowing that with Him all is possible. Like preparation, I obviously did the physical preparation and not to the fullest. Like I feel like I should have ran a full half marathon before the race to know what that distance is like, but I didn't. But I prayed and I trusted God that He would do it. And He would protect my feet and make a way, and He did, and He did. And yeah, God did. So I'm grateful that the light that I was allotted to be um, was hopefully shined all the light to Him, and that is my goal in this barefoot journey. And really, and I do feel like like I'm a barefoot athlete. Like I ran 13 miles barefoot at a reasonable pace. My pace was 5:19 kilometers. 5 minutes and 19 seconds per kilometer. or 8 minutes and 33 seconds per mile. I mean, 8.5 minutes per mile for 13 miles is for myself is phenomenal. It's solid. It's something I didn't think I could do when I remember I first told myself I was going to do this thing. So yeah, my feet are good. My feet are. This big toe has this little bruise there, but the rest of my feet are good. This other big toe got a little bruise, but they feel great. I was supposed to run this morning, but God said sleep, so that's what I did. Or maybe I said sleep. I don't know if God said sleep, but I slept. But I will go on a run soon, and nothing too long. I think I'm gonna keep it chill. Again, it's still No Shoes November for me, so I'll probably get 10K, maybe 15K, and then in December I'll say lace back up. I will line back up for another race and do it again. Hopefully break 150. That'll be super smooth. And for me, I think it would take actively running that last 5K. Like once I hit 16K, really locking in and saying, okay, cool, the race starts here. Let me run. I think last time I had that thought and I was just grateful to keep going. So now I know I can keep going. Maybe do a little more calf prep. Maybe even taping my calves. Like I didn't have no tape. I did tape my big toes. Like I wanted to protect them, and I did wear the toe spacers. So that was the technology, I guess you could say I had. But I may do some KT tape, some kinesiology tape on my calves. But yeah, it was really a joy. I was thrilled to do it, to have it completed. It's still kind of a shock. Like wow, like. And for anybody listening and hearing me for the first time, I started running barefoot in March. Yeah, I do gotta go. I gotta wrap this up. Okay, I started running in March, and I started running barefoot in April. March was the last time I wore in cushion shoes, but I was terrified of a 5K a year ago. I was definitely not doing a 10K, definitely never thinking about anything with a marathon in its name. So for me to be able to be here and run a half marathon, doing it completely barefoot, if you set your mind to it, you can do it. Anything God calls you to do, anything God calls you to, He will bring you through. So remember that. I love you all. Peace and love. Have an amazing, amazing day, week, month, life, etc. And pull up back for the next episode. I'm going to have some guests back on here. All right. Peace.